You guys are watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. Some loaded coaching rumors coming up here. Latest on Sean Payton. Head coaching search updates for all the 3 jobs open right now. Who the top candidates could be. Other potential jobs are going to open up on Black Monday. And we begin with Jim Harbaugh buzz. What year is it? We're doing it again. The Broncos and Panthers reportedly in contact with Harbaugh about a potential job. Different reports on that one. Harbaugh said last year he wasn't leaving Michigan. He explored it. He didn't take the job, and he's going to stay at Michigan. And now, a year later, here we go again with Harbaugh to the NFL. It's just like the John Gruden rumors. They're going to be around forever. Well, I guess they did end at some point for John Gruden. He allegedly told Queen City News, outlet based out of Charlotte, although no one knows the future, I think I will be coaching at Michigan next year. Jim, my friend, all you have to do is just say, I am staying at Michigan, because you make the decision. It's not Michigan's not going to fire you. Just say, I'm staying at Michigan. And that's that. Now, maybe he's trying to leverage some more NIL stuff for his Wolverines and his players, or better deals for his coaching staff. I don't know. But it's weird. And he has been linked to talking with or communicating with the Panthers owner, the Broncos decision makers. Of course, he was a Colts quarterback, so it's like he knows that job very well. Like, all 3 of those jobs that floated so publicly with Minnesota, ended up not taking it in the end, or didn't not getting the job, I should say. Here we go again. It's weird. It's not great for Michigan, as producer Jack likes to point out to me. Harbaugh had some great success with the Niners, 13-3, 11-4-1, 12-4. Not so great, 8-8. Really clashed with ownership in San Francisco, wanted out. Things got a little dicey at Michigan for a while. Took him some time. Last 2 years, though, wins over Ohio State. College football playoff championship berths. You want more, of course, if you're Michigan, but I feel like Harbaugh is by far your best bet to make that happen. So it's a weird situation because we did this last year. He said he was staying. Now we're doing it again. It's just very strange to me. So will Jim Harbaugh make the jump to the NFL? It's the pinned comment on today's video. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. While the ad plays, head down there, type in Y for yes, N for no. Is Jim Harbaugh going to jump back to the NFL again? Sean Payton is next up here. Now, we are very much at the point where, like, the new reports are the old reports. So we've done this before. It's, well, these teams could look at Sean Payton. The Saints won a first-round pick. Again, that's not new information. I know ESPN put it out again Sunday. It's not new. Now, Sean Payton does not have to return, but he does certainly sound like he wants to. And as we'll just loop through his overall career success with the Saints, he's coveted. A lot of wins, a lot of double-digit win seasons. Only won the 1 Super Bowl without having Drew Brees, but Brees was not the same guy. He will want control. He will want money. He will want a good situation, because why wouldn't he? Just makes sense, doesn't it, folks? Now, CBS Sports put out their top landing spots. The 3 open jobs, Carolina, Denver, Indy, 654. They also mentioned Houston and Washington. Houston would get the number 1 overall pick, which I think could intrigue Sean Payton, but the Commanders, I don't want to go to that job. There's ownership uncertainty. I don't trust that spot. Tampa at 3 is interesting. I'm not sure they'd fire Todd Bowles already. Dallas and Arizona do make some sense if the Cowboys dump Mike McCarthy, if they go one and done. And we'll get to Cliff Kingsbury later on. Maybe Denver throws up all the money and says, Sean, and we'll get to this more in depth on the Denver side. I do think the public comments made by ownership were the dog whistle for Sean Payton. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But first, where will Sean Payton coach in 2023, if anywhere? Maybe go back to the Saints. Let me know in the comments section. Now let's look at Denver, where things sit in this coaching search. Ownership's in charge. GM George Payton is helping. Denver appears to be aiming high for the head coaching spot. The new head coach will also report directly to ownership per that owner press conference, which to me was like, Sean, we'll let you be in charge. Because you're not going to let a first-time head coach report to ownership directly. You don't give that type of power and control and influence. That's what goes on with reporting directly to ownership, right? You don't give that type of power to a first-time head coach. So, yeah, I think that was a call to, hey, Sean, hey, we'll do it for you. Now, the publicly linked, more speculatively, but still by the major outlets, ESPN, local media, etc., Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, Jim Harbaugh, the defense coordinator could also be an in-house candidate. That makes sense, too. I feel like Quinn's the fallback candidate, but do you trust Russell Wilson? Is that even an appealing job? We'll find out as the coaching search moves along, which you can bet on, by the way, with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet, promo code NFL Daily. 125% deposit bonus when you put down at least $100. That's chatsports.com/bet, promo code NFL Daily. The head coaching odds on BetUS right now, Dan Quinn, heavy betting favorite. Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, the two big names there. Darrell Bevell screams fallback option. No one wanted the job. We're trying to fix Russ candidate. And D'Amico Ryans, I think, is going to get a head coaching job, potentially in Carolina. That job might make some sense for D'Amico Ryans. We go there next to Carolina. The Panthers almost made the playoffs with Steve Wilks as the interim head coach. Make no mistake, I think his head coaching candidacy has been better than ever, and maybe it wasn't his fault in Arizona now. There is a report that Wilks is unlikely to get the job. Now, owner David Tepper, rich guy, like most owners, very, very wealthy. He will probably try to be aggressive in this coaching search. 3 names linked. The report saying Steve Wilks not going to get it. Mentioned him to D'Amico Ryans. I'd like that hired. Now, you're going unproven, defensive mind, which does scare some folks, but I don't hate that one. Jim Harbaugh, of course, has apparently had contact with the opening, with ownership there. And then Steve Wilks, the interim. We will get a flood of interviews once Black Monday wraps up and seasons end for teams to begin their coaching searches officially. But what is the best job open? More on the Colts job here in a second. Of the 3 gigs, what's the best one? P for the Panthers, C for the Colts, B for the Broncos. Vote for me right now in the comment section. The Colts, I would wonder if that's the worst of the gigs. That's just quiet right now. There's not a lot of buzz outside of Jeff Saturday, who has met the expectations of simply not being an NFL head coach caliber guy, because he's not an NFL coach. He was a high school coach for a couple years. He will get consideration. I don't know how you could handle him. Hire him. It would make no sense. It would be a horrible hire based on what we know. And I do think the influence of Jim Irsay is a potential issue for teams. Seems like he's meddled more this year, and he wants that quarterback. And is Chris Ballard going to be there forever? It's a bit of a murky situation right now. And we will have you guys covered on all the latest buzz out of the Denver, Carolina, Indy, and the other jobs that should open soon. So make sure you guys are subscribed, youtube.com/@chatsports. Hit that sub button for free right now. I don't know how many jobs will open up on Black Monday or Sunday night, whatever. Houston, Arizona are 2 potential options that I would not be surprised if they opened up. Lovie Smith is going to win maybe a couple games, going to win less than what they won last year, and they fired the guy last year, so why would he stick around? I don't know. But also, it's not a great job. It's kind of scary. The Cardinals, the GM is taking a leave of absence under curious circumstances. A lot of buzz that Cliff Kingsbury is going to be out. Kyler Murray's hurt. Do they go with a little 1-year reset, get a new coach in there? The Commanders, I don't think is going to come open because they just need stability with all the ownership uncertainty. But I don't think Ron Rivera did a great job. I thought he did a good job with Heineke. You go back to Wentz, and then you don't know that you're about to be eliminated. That's concerning. Because you should know the scenarios and what you're pushing your team for. That shocked me there. I don't think they fire Rivera. I'd say Arizona, then Houston, the two to keep an eye out for. But on Black Monday, how many coaches will get fired on or by the end of Black Monday? Get those predictions in for me in the comments section. Before we go, a little tease of what some of the top head coach candidates will look like. I'm focused on more of like general candidates than like specific teams. I think Carolina, Steve Wilks, super high on that candidate list. Elsewhere, I'm not so sure. The big names, right? Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, D'Amico Ryans, Frank Reich. If you can get those guys, I think teams have a lot of interest there. Ryans and Quinn and Payton and Harbaugh and Frank Reich can all be a bit picky, though, if they so choose. Elsewhere, a longer list of names. Ken Dorsey, the Bills OC, could make sense. I think Shane Steichen should get a job. I think he's done a great job in Philadelphia this year. Mike Kafka with the Giants. Leslie Frazier with the Bills. Jonathan Gannon with Philadelphia. Kellen Moore is probably higher regarded than what maybe some Cowboys fans feel like. Ben Johnson's done a good job with the Lions. Gerard Mayo always gets buzzed. I'm not really sure why. Brian Callahan, Eric Bieniemy have had interviews in the past, but I wouldn't presume to say that they get hired for certain. Just some names to consider as the coaching carousel is about to get underway fully in the NFL.